honey. How are you, coach? Y'all better go grab your popcorn because we about to talk about it. Hey, everybody. This is your best-selling international #1 author in the building. Come on here and speak that thing into existence. We're going to talk about my new book. It's new to y'all, but it's old to me because I'm just now talking about it. Pitfall: Water in the Wilderness. It is available on my website. Click the link in my bio if you want to order your copy. Only $9.99. Come on here. But it's a plethora of information and insight that I give you through a pit experience that you know a lot of people is embarrassed to talk about their pits. Good. This is first time I caught you live. You know what? I'm glad you caught it, honey. Can we tag? Can we share? Can we invite people in the room? Can we tap that screen? They say if you're not tapping, you napping. So let's invite the people to the broadcast. If you do not mind, invite people to the broadcast. Let them know that um, we are live. We are live in the vineyard, honey. The author is live in the vineyard. So here we are. I'm encouraging you to share the broadcast, to invite your followers, let the people know that we're talking about one of 7 of my books I have written, Pitfall: Water in the Wilderness. If you found yourself in a dark place in life and you want resolution on how to get out, this is the book for you. If you find yourself in an isolated place, in a foreign place, this is the book for you. If you found yourself in a desolate situation that needs solution and resolution, this is the book for you. So share. If you found yourself feeling delayed, denied, discouraged, this is the book for you. Those are multiple pits that I have just described that I know a lot of people are very familiar with. And so I talk about how to overcome, how to process through those different situations, and how God is the water that He provides. He is the life. He is what keeps us going. He is the refreshing while we experience life processes, right? Blessings, woman of God. Marie is in the building. My favorite moderator, because she's been with me the longest. Is in the building. I have a little smooth jazz playing in the background. I hope y'all don't get offended, okay? But that's what we playing while we do this live reading. And so I'm gonna read the back. I'm not gonna take up too much of y'all time, but if you have questions hopefully I have the answer for you. If I don't have the answer, I know how to get the answer, okay? If you do have those questions and you would like to get in a box on TikTok, go ahead after I get through with the excerpt and speaking on it. Feel free to join the live. Normally, this is my first time doing that, and so I ask that you respect the platform. I ask that you, if you have questions for real, concerning about anything I've read today, to come on and let's talk about it. Because at the end of the day, this is about transformation. This is about experiencing freedom and breakthrough, breaking out. This is about owning your pits, but also overcoming them as well. So tap the screen. Let's get as close to 50,000 likes as possible. And I know that's going to make your hands and thumbs hurt, but guess what? It's okay. Tap, 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 tap. And as you tap and share the broadcast as well. Okay. So I will read the back, and the back says, this written work of art is both poetic and prophetic. Gwendolyn expresses her place of bondage through spoken word because it was literally spoken word, prophetic word, that freed her from the very place the adversary wanted her both to spiritually and naturally die, but God. If you find yourself relating to any form of bondage or pitfall, this book was written for you. Your prayer of escape has arrived. It's time to experience a whole wonderful place called new. And this is it. This place is called new. And so the outlining of these chapters is um, transitioning, one night stand, temple of love, chapter 4, on edge, chapter 5, desolate place, chapter 6, the flow of things, chapter 7, running on fumes, chapter 8, I'm thirsty, chapter 9, order oil, and yet no overflow. Ooh, chapter 10. Ooh, I just caught something. That's an easy fix. Chapter 10, just one drop. Chapter 11, fresh manna. Chapter 12, I hear the rain. Can you get the book outline? So I just gave it to you. What's up, Calvin? Chapter 13, don't strike the rock. Chapter 14, yes and amen. And then the final conclusion of the matter is me actually talking about water in the wilderness. So, out of those chapters, if you remember them, which chapter do you want me to read an excerpt from? Or you just want me to pick it and go? Because at the end of the day, it's all good. Okay. And so, since I have more viewers on TikTok, I'm going to take your suggestion. So, which chapter do y'all prefer? 1 through 14 or Water in the Wilderness? I think I've already did Water in the Wilderness before on a live. Hey, Crystal. Blessings, Crystal. I don't hear nobody. It don't matter. All right, let's just go with it then. Part B. We're going to break free. Strategies to breaking free. Nah. That's something y'all got to work for that one. Y'all got to work for that. Chapter 5, Desolate Place. What's up, Marcus Meeks? Good to see you again, sir. Um, Chapter 5, Desolate Place. As things turned tragic and my father was slowly passing, he made the decision to move to Texas. And I thought was a huge blessing. Being that my children were gone from me for a season, I really needed him closer to me, and that was a good reason. Empty, scared, and desolate inside, I had lost my biological father, and that's when I convinced myself, yep, I was so glad this man I love was by my side. Not one day passed that I wasn't embraced by the smile on his face. Remember, the tempo of love is moving at a quicker pace. At this point, my emotions are unstable, but I'm going to church saying and praying that God is able. In my pain, I wasn't thinking about now living in shame, being that this man I love still hasn't given me his last name. Y'all better stop playing with me and go get this book, GwendolynYarba.com. GwendolynYarba.com. I told you I speak poetically because it was the spoken prophetic words that liberated me out of every one of my pits. And this is how God wanted me to tell this particular story. Because like me, so many other people, you find yourself doing life, but then one day you realize you're really in a desolate place. Oh, y'all don't want to talk about the desolate place, the empty place, the lonely place, and you can have people all around you. The not so fulfilling place. I'm trying to survive type of place. I'm walking with my head still up and nobody knows what's going on behind the scene type of place. Where are the desolate? Have anybody experienced desolate situations? Am I the only one tonight that has experienced it? I know I'm not. I'm being courteous by asking the question. Am I the only one? Absolutely not. You may be experiencing a desolate place right now in your life. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa, for sharing the broadcast. Thank you so much for sharing the broadcast. But this book, this place, um, that I talk about in chapter 5, um, it was water. I got children out the home because I want to go live with my daddy. I want to go live with my daddy. You get tired when you got tragedy ahead of you. My father was given, so at this point in his life, he was given um days to live. He was literally given days to live when I was experiencing chapter 5, the desolate place. And so here I'm facing that my father that I'm just now rekindling a relationship with, just now establishing a solid relation with, he's about to transition and get out of here. And then I got 3 children that's like, yeah, 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 daddy, daddy, daddy. Oh, baby, go with your daddy, okay? And so I made that choice and I told him, you have 1 school year to do that, because I didn't want to take out what I was experiencing, the hurt, the grief, of not understanding God. How could this be? I just, for the past 3 years, has formed a relationship with the Father, because I've always knew I was a daddy's girl, even though my biological father did not raise me. My stepfather did, and he was a phenomenal bonus daddy. Okay, he was a phenomenal bonus daddy to me. And so I'm so grateful, even in his transition of not being here anymore. I'm still grateful, but you still want the love, the affection, the connection with the one who brought you in, right? And so here, 3 years prior, he's going through his cancer, and he lived longer because when he got diagnosed, he was already at stage 4. But the Lord allowed him to live 3 years past that death sentence that the doctor gave him. And so for that, I'm grateful. God gave me 3 years to build, to talk, to go through and talk about those things um, that most daughters want to know. Why weren't you here? Why weren't you consistent? Um, that hurt, and these are the things that I've experienced, and I believe that if had you been present, it wouldn't have happened. And so we had a moment to have those kind of conversations. It was in those moments that I realized I was more like my biological father than I realized. And so that was a desolate place for me. But then all the while this is happening, I get a surprise visit from my out-of-state boyfriend saying, I'm moving to Texas. And so here we were, and I didn't care. I wasn't even processing you moving to Texas. That wasn't even process. I was so used to him coming and going and visiting, and me coming and going to visit, that it was just okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, honey. Thank you for stopping by. Um, and so this is the chapter that I really I really entered a situation aware but unaware. Thank you, Marie, for inviting Isabella. Thank you, everybody, for sharing the broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We are talking about Pitfall: Water in the Wilderness. It is now available $9.99 on my website. $10. You have $10, but the the information that is in this book is absolutely priceless. And however, I want to make it affordable for so many people to know that it doesn't matter what type of situation you find you in. There is water available. There is water. You're grieving. You're going through. You're down and out. There is water available. Come on here. You don't have it all. You don't know it all. There is water available. And I believe as Jesus spoke, he is that water where you'll never thirst again. Like he told a woman at the well, the Samaritan lady. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe that's why God really gave me that. But not only because of water in the wilderness, Isaiah 43 18 and 19 talks about, shall I not do a new thing? And so this was actually transitioning into a new place, a new mindset, a new way of doing things through this book. And so, like I said, chapter 5 is called Desolate Place. I just got to read it. For the ones that's coming through, I'm going to read it again when we hit 20 people. We get 20 people in the room, I will reread it. But for the time being, I'm going to talk about, what does desolate places look like? What does it feel like? I've already described some of those instances where desolation looks like you're surviving, but you're not thriving. Desolation places look like Desolate places look like you have it all together and you about to fall apart, because you may not even consciously realize you are experiencing desolation. And here I am, because I had so many things transitioning. It was still a desolate place. I was still unfulfilled. That's what desolate is. I was still empty. I was still needing something. I was still without exactly what I need, and that was that water. That was I needed the Father to quench the thirst. That's what I'm going through at the moment. Where to God be the glory. This is for you, Isabella. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you came on tonight. This book is available Amazon, as well as um my personal website, GwendolynYarber.com. It's only $9.99, and I can get it shipped out to you ASAP. All right. So desolate, like I said, I was experiencing my father transitioning. I was experiencing my children nagging, wanting to go live with their father. And so they did, because I allowed them that school year while I try to figure out, am I going to go now live with my father to help assist my other siblings to take care of him? What am I going to do? Or I'm going to stay behind, and how I'm going to deal with this, because I was, at the time, I was going between Texas and Kansas as frequently as I can, and I will get on the highway. It doesn't matter. I'm a driver, and so driving did not bother me. There is no distance when you love, period. A father, a mother, a child, a friend, significant other partner. It doesn't matter. Love, you would do what you have to do, by any means necessary. So me getting in the car, driving every other weekend to go visit my father, just it didn't mean it didn't hurt me. And so, because I was in all of this at one time, my then um, guy um, moved from Mississippi to Texas. And so, once again, like I said, I wasn't thinking, it wasn't no pressure, wasn't a big deal to me, because at the end of the day, we had already knew what the end goal was: marriage, right? We was already talking, we was talking about that way before, when we first got together. That was the conversation, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a big deal, because I was so set, like, he's it. He's, I don't care about him coming. You know what I'm saying? That's not where my mind was at. My mind wasn't on him actually moving to Texas to live together. It wasn't on there. And so that's what I was talking about in here on this in this particular chapter. So I will read it again. I'm not gonna wait for more people to come in, because Isabella said this is for her. And y'all know I leave the 99 and go after the one. If that's what God called me to come on this platform and read this excerpt for, if it was just for Isabella, I'm here. And so once again, this chapter is called Chapter 5, Desolate Place. And it reads, this is a poetic and prophetic book. And so I tell the story about this particular pit poetically, but then God gives me a prophetic instructions to leave with y'all at the end of this book, towards the end of this chapter. And I'm telling you, the prophetic word that was spoken in the back of this book, baby. Woo, good God Almighty, from Zion. As things turned tragic and my father was slowly passing, he made the decision to move to Texas. And that, I thought, was a huge blessing. Being that my children were gone from me for a season, I really needed him closer to me, and that was a good reason. empty, scared, and desolate inside. I had lost my biological father, and that's when I convinced myself, yep, I'm glad this man I love is by my side. Not one day passed that I wasn't embraced by the smile on his face. Remember, the tempo of love is moving at a quicker pace. At this point, my emotions are unstable, but I'm going to church saying and praying that God is able. In my pain, I wasn't thinking about living in shame, being that this man I still love hasn't given me his last name. And so there are a lot of single women who are in relationships, and you've been in, at the time that he moved, I think we were talking already for 3 years. And like I said, when you're having a good time, you don't have a reason to, you know, you're not fussing, you're not fighting. Thank you, honey. You're not fussing, you're not fighting, you're not going through it. You just go along with it. If when it happens, as it happens, it is what it is. And that's the type of relationship we had. We just went with the flow. I mean, we just, the way I worked, the way he worked, the way that our schedules was, the way I was traveling, none of that mattered. And it should have. It should have mattered. It should have mattered. There should have been a detailed discussion. But as I said, I was what? Empty. That's how you get in these pits. When you're empty, when you're scared. Hey, Adrian. When you're empty, when you're scared, and when you're desolate. That's how you find yourself in pits. When you're not thinking, when you're not processing, when you're not being rational. That's how you find yourself in pits. We have any questions about the reading? Once again, Pitfall, Water in the Wilderness is available on GwendolynYarber.com. Amazon, go get your copy. Go get your copy. Go get your copy. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns? But to the single women, like I was saying, don't compromise regardless of what season that you're in. Don't, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your support. Don't compromise no matter what season that you find yourself in. Don't always ask God to lead you. Lean not to thy own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. In your darkest, desolate, scary times in life, that's when you should ask God the most questions. That's when you just shouldn't go with the flow. I'm so free spirited. No, that's how the enemy sets traps. Your most vulnerable places. We talked about that this morning with the man of God who got tricked by a lie because the man spoke deceit to him and claimed to be a prophet as well, as if God changed his mind about him not eating, drinking, and returning back the way that he was not supposed to. So we have to be careful. And I'm not saying, listen, to this day, me and that gentleman, I'm telling you, we good friends. And he still want me. But things have changed. I have grown. And there you have to come to a place in your life where you have to make the decisions. Women, once again, it doesn't take a man who is ready to to claim what he allegedly desires. It don't take him forever. Trust me. Trust me. A real man, a ready man. It don't take him several months and years. Just like it don't take us long. It don't take them long, especially when you got an ear here when you are in relationship with God. You don't no, do not allow it in your dark places and spaces because I just want the comfort of him. He embraced me. I'm going through transition. I can't do this by myself. Yes, you can. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthen me. Yes, you can. And that's the mentality I should have had. where I should have logically processed and rationally processed, morally processed some things before just being so open and so comfortable. So comfortable. Women, be careful. Be careful. But once again, this is Pitfall, available on Amazon. uh, Um, and especially you can order it directly through my website, GwendolynYarber.com. The link is in the bio.